good afternoon from Amsterdam and good evening for those who are in Asia. Especially, I think most of the participants are from Indonesia. Thank you very much for joining this webinar series organized by mostly by volunteers of Indonesia Diaspora Netherlands. My name is Hasti Tarekat. I'm a member of Indonesia Diaspora Netherlands. And I would like to introduce also the moderator of today is Wiwi Chiok. She is a landscape architect, the driver of Task Force Livable City and board members of Indonesia Diaspora Netherlands. And she also works for the municipality of Rotterdam. And Julia Atmaja is the volunteer who takes care of all the logistic and technical elements of this webinar. So thank you to all the volunteers. And also I would like to thank Ibu Linda and Ibu Yuke as the speakers who voluntarily allocate their valuable times to share with us about the update of the conservations of sugar factory of Tjolomadoe, but also updates of other things related to sugar industry history. And this webinar is organized every month at the third Wednesday of each month, actually to update especially the heritage professionals of the Netherlands or those who are interested in shared heritage with Indonesia about the development of heritage in Indonesia, because Indonesia and Netherlands shared a lot of heritage, archives, everything. So I thought that the updates of from Indonesia would be useful to build understanding of both countries, but of course also for international heritage community in general. And thank you for all of you who join us. And I would like to give the floor now to Wiwi Chiok as the moderator to introduce the speakers and the topic. Thank you very much and enjoy the webinar.
Unmute. Thank you so much, Mbak Hasti, for introducing and opening the webinar. This is already the fourth webinar, and I would like to thank especially Ibu Hasti Tarekat, who is also the founder of Heritage Hands-On, and she's above all, she's the expert in heritage. Yeah, for me, this is also new and quite challenging because I don't know much about the topic, but I'm very interested in the topic of the sugar factories history. And I won't be take too long because we would like to hear the stories of Ibu Linda and Ibu Yuke. And today's topic is the Tjolomadoe adaptive reuse. So I would like to invite Ibu Sinur Linda Agustina, who is the director of PTPP, Persero. And after that, I would like to give the floor to Ibu Yuke. So Ibu Linda, if you're ready, I will could you please start your presentation?
Okay, thanks, Mbak Wiwi. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and now in Jakarta is evening. Okay, I'd like to start to sharing the screen. I'll try. Is it clear to be seen?
Yes, Belinda, but could you make it full view or full screen?
Sure, sure.
Thank you.
Okay. So, my name is Linda. I'm in charge in developing the revitalization of Tjolomadoe. And in this afternoon or in evening in Jakarta, I would like to share what we did in Tjolomadoe, Solo, central of Java, regarding the sugar factory that was very famous at the in Netherlands, India, Netherlands, India at the time. Okay, so the content of the sharing that I'd like to share is about, I try to make it in 3 pieces: agriculture, and then also the architecture, and what we did regarding the revitalization. Okay, talking about the agriculture, why I put the triumph of agriculture, because at the time that we know that Java, the most populous of Indonesia, many islands before the Dutch, is in this form, was the main crop, and it was rice at the time. Since the Dutch East of Indies at the beginning of the 20th century, the Dutch government also invented another social, cultural, political, economic that named Kulturstelsel, and it was studied from 1830 till 1870. And this is some document or photo that we took that as evidence of the glory or the triumph of the agriculture at the time. Okay, Java, very famous for sugar, and especially at the central Java and also in the east of Java, where the sugar cane was in central Java, and there was what we say the factory, in Java, and also some of areas of in Indonesia. And it was between 1880 and 1942, Java has emerged as one of the 3 chief producers, and rival only Cuba and Taiwan. And the foundation of the cultivation system at that time also encouraged the Mangkunegara and the Central Java to make a sugar mill in Surakarta or Solo. This is what we took from a newspaper at the time, from some document. This is it's proven that how is the factory, the sugar factory was in Surakarta, or named as Solo, and produced 1,600 tons of sugar. And at the time, there were 46 sugar factories in Surakarta. And from 1890 to 1870, the Tjolomadoe and Tasikmadu, the 2 biggest sugar factories in Surakarta, could produce more than 20,000 quintals of sugar, or equivalent to more than 2,204 tons. And it was on the screen we see that a news about how they celebrate the jubileum of the Tjolomadoe, and until now we are still celebrating the jubileum. And on December 2021, it was the 160th anniversary of the Tjolomadoe. We celebrate it. And what about the architecture? Of course, the expert is Yuka. He will continue then after I finish sharing the slides. This is the highlight of the Tjolomadoe Sugar Factory history, which is started from 1861, establishment of Tjolomadoe. It was the 8th December of 1961 by Kanjeng Gusti Pangeran Adipati Arya Mangkunegara IV. And this is the first industrial building in Java with the Indies architectural style. And then at the downfall, a decrease income by around 100 per year, and Praja Mangkunegara finance deteriorated. The operation were taken over by the Dutch, or the government at the time. And then in 1899, it was a resurgence. of the factory financial, and in 1942, during the Japanese occupation, Tjolomadoe finance declined again due to a shortage of labor and land conversion. And then 1928, Tjolomadoe renewal, which is the architecture now become an Art Deco style, but only at the front page, or the front sides of the building. And 1946, since we have the independence, Tjolomadoe nationalization to the state state-owned enterprise. We call it PTPM. And unfortunately, on 1998, it was closed. And we came to this site in 2016. And personally, before when I was assigned at this project, I went to Netherlands, to Amsterdam. It was I got the information from UK, and then I met some people there who inspired me how we could preserve the architecture of the sugar factory. And in 2014, the president at the time, Tjolomadoe, instructed the minister, and we get the assignment. And on April 8, 2016, consortium of PT Synergy Tjolomadoe started to revitalize this site. And this is establishment of the Tjolomadoe Sugar Factory. Yeah, I'm not expert actually at this, but I try to get the information to share in this evening. So this is the ownership of Raja Mangkunegara from 1891 to 1928. And I saw this is Bu Nina, I saw Bu Nina join with us. Maybe he could share more detail about this. And the crisis condition of the Tjolomadoe Sugar Factory, and also the economic stability and the setup. This is the history that we try to understand, since we think or consider about how could we preserve this building. We try to learn more about the history, and then which part of the building that might be preserved, so we can still keep the history as the glory of this sugar mill. And transformation of architectural design of Tjolomadoe Mangkunegara, it was at the front side, and this is still starting influenced by the Art Deco facade. We see here, this is the Indies architecture at the era of Mangkunegara, which is the row of plain Tuscan influence in this architecture, and also the shape of the pyramid roof having a terrace. This is quite meaningful as adjustment to the tropical climate. And there is a landscape also that we until now still preserve this side of the building. At the front side, it was influenced by the Art Deco facade at the era Mangkunegara VII. The detail will be explained by Yuka, But since the factory handed over to the SOE, and then they put some building for the operational, and when we started in revitalizing this building, we removed some, but the things that we remove is only the part of the building which is not suitable with the origin of the factory. Okay, this is the background why we do revitalization, because we also to generate the traffic of tourists along the central of Java, and the mission is to support the creativity and also to deliver the glory of the sugar factory. So sorry, if we see the screen, the picture above is the old one, and then the below one is the current that we already revitalized. this is the process. Yeah, we did site survey and then cleaning and then construction. By having the history, what we learned from some source, so we try to keep the machine, yeah, even we remove some corrosion and then preserve the machine, also modify to strengthen the structure, so the shape of the building and also the content that might telling us about the history of the operation still in the building. And here the tile installation, tile we try to copy. So because there were some remains tiles at the area at the mill station, we try to copy and then make the new one with the with the same time of the tile. And then also machine preservation, we remove the corrosion, and then we keep making the facade as is. Once we put some add some space, yeah, to accommodate the event, we just make the same shape with the existing facade. So we found some blueprint of the building. We try to understand and then put the element as captured on the blueprint of the drawing. And here is the Tjolomadoe that built in 1891 and still remain the essence of the former sugar that made by the Mangkunegara. And here is the before and after. This is the mill station. We can see the former one, and then now become the front, or we can say the first venue that we enter the factory. We will see the new one, which is the what we say some of the machines still be there. And then now we come to the Catalan station, which is the serve a source power of sugar factory, and now become a food and beverage tenants and Indonesian art, and also as a venue of exhibition. Okay, this is the use as a station for evaporate most of the water contained in the sap until the density was close to a saturated solution. Now it has some function as the Gilingan station, where we can also conduct even of fashion show, because this is a good venue for fashion show, which is the some of the boiler is still there. And then this is the carbonate station, which is at the time the function is separating sap from existing impurities to obtain the clear sap. Now it has turned into a digital museum. Why we put digital? Because yeah, we are now in digital period, so we deliver some information with digital at this area, but still about the history of the Tjolomadoe sugar factory from various aspects. Now Besali, this is a bit unique because we keep the machine, yeah, for reparation, and then we put a table on the machine, so now become a restaurant. And this is Surakarta. In the past, it was a warehouse for packing sugar into sacks, and now it is used as an exhibition hall, conference room, and sometimes used for the wedding event. And this is the big venue. Yeah, which is, it was formerly Putaran Station to crystallize sugar liquids, and now it is an international concert hall, and quite often produce revenue for us. Yeah, as so the business can be moving on, and we until now it is still famous in Surakarta and a destination, not only a concert hall. Okay, this is the evidence of the blueprint that we found: facade, treatment center, and also pump house, labor house, drag balls, limestone. Yeah, we get and we more understand that how deep they prepare the design of this building. And this is the event, the first event that we hold that we held at the time once we opened. This is the first event that we held at the Tjolomadoe Heritage Hall, and now named as Tjolomadoe Hall. Okay, about the history, I'm not expert in this, but we try to find some source that can enhance our understanding when we did the preservation of the architecture. And now the sugar factory is still in Surakarta with the glory and keep telling us about the history. This is only the picture, but at the left side this is a note from Mangkunegara IV with Mangkunegara IV, which is in Bahasa of Java, but the deep meaning still keep in the soul of people in Solo. Preserve this factory, even though it doesn't give well, but it provides life, provides protection, becomes the soul of the commerce. Thank you. Hope this slide make us more understanding about the Tjolomadoe, one of the heritage in central of Java.
Okay, thank you so much, Ibu Linda. It was very impressive, and it has become such a beautiful place. And yeah, I hope we can visit it one day, once we can travel again. Perhaps as we discussed before the webinar, I understood that you also was involved in another sugar factory, the Banjaratma one. Would you like to share that one as well, or?
Okay, about the Banjaratma, I'd like to still processing. Maybe we can continue with Bu Yuke about the architecture, because he's very master about this architecture. Yeah. And then I will prepare, took some from the website about the Banjaratma.
Okay, thank you so much, Ibu Linda. Yeah, meanwhile, to the audience, if you have questions, you can put it in the chat, and then we will get back to you with the questions after both presentations. So now I would like to invite Ibu Yuke Adiati. Ibu Yuke is an architect and lecturer at Universitas Pancasila. Welcome, Ibu Yuke.
Thank you.
I don't see Ibu Yuke yet. Are you here?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Good.
Yeah.
Good evening, Ibu Yuke.
Yeah.
Glad to see you. Yeah, welcome at the webinar, and we were looking forward to your presentation about your involvement in the preservation of Tjolomadoe.
Yes. I tried to find my files. Maybe is it seen in screen?
Yeah, I can see it, but you have to rotate. I think the previous one was good.
Yeah, I think something happened. Okay, may want to rotate, I think.
Yeah,
if you don't mind, please give me help to present in your computer, I think.
Okay, just rotate once again. And then next.
By one. I think it took time.
But this is okay now.
No, okay. Okay. I start to present this paper. I think I need to accompany Madam Linda to share how to reveal the architectural style during the transformation of Tjolomadoe. here my presentation. I want to operate my slide. Is that okay?
Ibu Yuko, I'm the one who's sharing your slide because you mentioned that you have problem to rotate it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Next slide. This is the main architectural concept. And now the one part is tourist cultural plaza is the first of architectural representation now, yeah. Slide. Next slide. The first project goal is the Tjolomadoe Convention and Heritage. All of the surrounding of Tjolomadoe may in the progress now. And the first progress is the building of the sugar fabric of Tjolomadoe. Next. The first rule is how to reveal the building facade style. To identify the origin of building style, need the historical archive. Next. May architect required to reveal the origin facade, it must be supported by original architectural drawing, photograph and archive, and reference book and all manuscripts. And lanjut. Next. The main discussion is how to reveal the origin building style and how to revitalize the old building and how to create the new facility. And next, cause the modern, the next, cause the building more than 20 years empty building, it was damaged and the architectural document is not finding. Finally, we try to accompany Ibu Linda to find the archive to support the architect team. Next. Yes, I think is the method of research is grounded by compiling data, and the story behind we must be to use phenomenological as approach, yeah, to visit the origin of owner in his tomb. Maybe it's not published in public, yeah. I think this is the secret story, but maybe it's a drama from the revitalization progress. Next. I think the images is imagining when we saw the last of sugar factory is maybe very sacred and maybe seen like Harry Potter. I think Harry Potter studio. I think is very yeah, menyeramkan dalam bahasa Indonesia. And next. Yes, this is the giant machine is old and to be an archaeological artifact. And then it is the museum of Adipati Mangkunegara IV and Kirilayu. This is a very beautiful museum and created by iron. Yeah, I think in Art Nouveau style. At the time, it's very beautiful museum. And then and last, Finding the archival data, yeah. Yeah, we have many of archival data to support the architect and the project itself. And after that, we need to how to reveal the style of existing building. Next. Yeah, the building has reformed in 27, yeah, when Adipati Mangkunegara VIII reformed to the building. All of the machine is to be a new one and need the giant machine, and so they need to reform all of old building to accommodate the new machine. And it must be high ceiling, high entrance gate, and need entrance to the road, and need a train track and others. And so they are need to create the new facade building with some style, yeah. And then the project is not fine how and when and what is the building facade style. So during the project, they reveal something. Then, ya, lanjut terus saja. This is some message same with Ms. Linda. Yeah, the adaptive reuse is some experience that they cleaning the site and they finding the giant tipo anno 1928, as well as the wall site, and they trust the old building, and they confirm when we find the photograph when the king of Siam came to the building. Lanjut. Next. Yes. We need to compare at the slide. Next slide. The next step is in this architecture, we just only find 3 photographs to compare the old building that close by a temporary building and that time, yeah. And next photograph. This is not like that. They have many of non-permanent building and many of many of artifact to close the original. And then this maybe next slide. Yeah, the slide is I think before the Tjolomadoe revitalization is originally at that time, yeah, but it's the non-permanent building in the front of building is demolished by project, and then I think it's the same facade, yeah. And the next is the old before they already to revitalization, and then we have photograph of museum Rongo Arsito, yeah. We compare the same facade but maybe adapted to remove the some of a building if that have to clear all the original facade. And next slide. Next slide. Next. Yes. Yes. This before facade. Before. Yes. This is Mangkunegara VIII accompany the King of Siam to visit the new factory. This is a model market that finding to identify the original facade of building. So this is a wall site that have a typo 1698, yeah. And so next, yes, maybe clears and can compare with the existing building. This is a proof as well as the brick wall. This is the parallel progress. It's the same building and the same model market. And next is the same photograph from Mr. Huip Akihari. And next, maybe the same images from Madam Linda. And then lanjut. This is the same. Yes, I think the same image. Yes, this is compare the old building photograph with architect create now, yeah. The new facade in now with this sunken plaza in the front. This is a sunken plaza, yeah. And next, next. Yes, I think all image is same from the PP presentation. Maybe I need to show especially in the convention. And next. I think the end of slide. Yes. I think yes. The slide before. Yes, this is the uniqueness of convention of Tjolomadoe. We can see the old artifact of giant machine in front of the convention. I think this is the uniqueness of this room. Yes, maybe some of image how to imagine before the project is before launching. And next, this is some of artists to show before the under construction. Only to show how the Tjolomadoe used to public before they start to construction. Next, yeah, some image before they are already transformation. In the end is the conclusion. A convention is a hybrid, the old and the new one. Yeah, I think I just to complete Miss Linda image, yeah. This is the same sources. This is one of a fashion show in front of the building. This is image when Mr. President came, and all at the same sources. Yeah, I think I just only to share this progress, yeah, and maybe we came to discussion. Thank you, Mbak Wiwi. Thank you, Ibu Hasti. Yeah.
Thank you, Ibu Yuka. It was very good to see how the process of the revitalization was done, and also how the building is used currently. It's so many activities. It's really wonderful. I would like to ask if Ibu Linda is ready to share some update about the other sugar factory, Brebes, Banjaratma.
Okay, would you please open the share screen? I'd like to ask my colleague to share at the other laptop.
Thank you.
Ibu Linda, could you mention the name of your
M. Fahri PTPP. M. Fahri PTPP.
All right. I already give him permission to share. Please go ahead, sir.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, this is the Instagram of the rest area. KM means kilometer, 260 B. That's the point of the location, and then scroll down, please. So this is what we see, some of the Instagram, which is we keep the origin of the facade of the sugar mill, and then we just do painting for the frame, yeah, as a entrance. And now some of the facade also being touched to keep it watertight, so not let the rain coming in. And now it become what we see some souvenir and an egg and also F&B. Then this is a favorite of the Instagrammable spot. So that's our logo. Sorry, could you please? Okay, this is the okay, so we put our logo there. That's our name of our company, and the rest area, that's the naming of this spot. And we still make the facade as is. So what we do is just touching up, but we did painting just for the frame of the door, but not every hole of the door we put a swing of door. So we just let the air flow in out. So this is maybe at the other time we can share more detail about this. But if you would like to see more picture about this area, you may browse the Instagram. So this is all the event. Yeah, this is all the comment. This is the facade. So if we go through the toll road, we will see this building. Okay, I think it's enough. You may stop share.
Thank you, Ibu Linda. It's amazing. It's a very attractive building, and for sure, it's very nice to stop by when you travel through the toll road. So thank you so much. I think for now, I would like to invite Ibu Nina Akbar Tanjung as a representative of the family, of the Mangkunegara family. Ibu Nina, would you like to share some words? Ibu Nina? I hope she's still in the audience, but I think she's still in the audience And Ibu Nina is the author of a very important book, Traces of Sugar. And it would be nice if you could say some words to the audience.
Halo.
Ya, selamat malam Ibu Nina.
I cannot hear actually, Bu, for the
okay.
plan.
We are very honored that you are.
Congratulations to you all. I'm glad that Bu Hasti Tarekat invite me. But this is, I'm in a restaurant, so I cannot hear clearly. But you know, Tjolomadoe is really iconic in Surakarta now, and we are happy to have a sugar factory heritage in Surakarta. Congratulations to Ibu Linda, also to Ibu Yuka. And as you know, I made a book, A Trace of Sugar. Many sugar factory around east of Java, and so beautiful ancestor death, and a book of Trace of Sugar. So, and now I can enjoy the heritage building of sugar factory also, and Brebes, so beautiful, and they preserve very beautiful actually. It's not so modern and Tjolomadoe, but the function is very well for the I cannot say in English. What's in English? Ibu, maybe you can help me. And then for coffee shop, and then for
small
the small vendors,
enterprises.
yeah, industrial, home industries, like that. Yeah. So once again, congratulations. Hopefully, I can follow all the discussion in the IDN every month, yeah, and we can still preserve all the colonial buildings for our architecture heritage. Congrats, Bu Asti and Ibu Moderator, ya, Ibu Yuka and Ibu Linda. Nice to see you here. I'm sorry.
Thank you so much. Our apologies for interrupting your dinner. Selamat makan dan terima kasih banyak. Yeah, I hope we can meet one day, and thank you for your input, and yeah, enjoy your dinner and your evening. Okay, thank you so much, Ibu Nina. Thank you. Okay, then there are quite a number of questions already, and I would like to first invite Mr. Peter Timmer of the RCE, Rijksdienst voor Cultureel Erfgoed. Maybe you can give your insight about the works that has been done for the Tjolomadoe. Peter, are you there?
Yes. Thank
good.
you very much, Vivi.
Thank you. Glad to see you, and thank you for your valuable time to attend the webinar.
Thank you very much. I agree with you. It's very impressive to see what kind of project this is, and how the history plays a role in the future development as well. And I was wondering, because how many stakeholders were involved in this project? It seems huge to me. It's very impressive.
Indeed. Maybe Bu Linda can give an insight of how many stakeholders were involved in this one. Ibu Linda,
4. So the landlord is the so we are all at the state-owned enterprise, yeah. So the land and the building belongs to the PTPN, and I'm PP with our subsidiary of the developer, and then the other one is the the SOE who operate the Candi Borobudur, Taman Wisata Candi. So one of the stakeholder is the Taman Wisata Candi, and the other one is the Jasa Marga, who usually in charge for the toll road, but they also having a good business as in the rest area. So many of the SOE who has some activities there assigned by the SOA ministry.
Fascinating. So in a way, you could say this is a public-private partnership as well.
No, we do commercial, yeah. So we do commercial, yeah. To yeah, frankly speaking, this is a business, but we keep delivering the heritage. So we also calculate the return on the business. So yeah, money made from the venue, yeah, but for the park, yeah, we give free, and then money made from the museum, like that, yeah.
Thank you very much for your explanation. I think that this is really important work as well. We have several companies in the Netherlands also involved in adaptive reuse, and they keep on expanding their activities. And for us as a heritage sector, I'm working for the Cultural Heritage Agency of the Netherlands. They're an important partner because they understand that first have to understand the building, but you also have to make it a commercial enterprise. Otherwise, you don't have any income for restoration, conservation, and giving new life to a factory like this is the most important aspect. We think for conservation and preservation for future generations. So maybe it would be wonderful. I don't know if you have ideas to expand your activities to other sugar factories. And well, it's a bit far away, but I remember once visiting Suriname in South America, and they also have sugar factories over there. And I believe Marienburg near Paramaribo is a really big sugar factory. They even have a kampong over there because of the ethnic Japanese population. And it would be wonderful if you could share your ideas with Paramaribo as well, Suriname. And I think they can learn a lot of how you've accomplished to reach, how you accomplished adaptive reuse in this matter. But it's just an idea. I really like this project. And keep up the good work. I hope many factories will be adaptive reused in the future as well. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks, Peter. I went to Netherlands, so I learned from Netherlands also. Yeah, I visited some factory there. Yeah, I tried to absorb, and I also went to a mine gang in Belgium.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
And then did some browsing at the Mauritius. Yeah, and then we got the essence how we will proceed this project.
Okay. So there's a lot of cooperation already. That's good to hear.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, it's very good to know that there are sugar factories in Suriname as well, and I hope it will become a good inspiration, the works that you have done in Indonesia, and especially the Tjolomadoe and Banjaratma. So yeah, who knows? Okay. Yeah, let's move to the other question. I think Julia had a slide with the questions. Let's go to the first question. It's from NWT. I'm not sure who that is, but is the entire facade of the Tjolomadoe completely finished? And what is the material of the facade? Is it stone, cement, bricks, or paints? What they use in the revitalization? Who can I give the question to? Maybe Ibu Yuka?
It was I was I was the one, Joyce from New Way Technologies, that asked the question. I'm Ibu Joyce.
Hello, Joyce. Nice to meet you. Thank you for attending the webinar. Glad to see you here.
An honor to be here.
Thank you. Ibu Yuko, can you perhaps address the question?
Yes, Miss NWT, this is the Tjolomadoe complete at entire facade, just only to reveal the new one, but they use the brick and paint as usual during revitalization. But in adaptive reuse, maybe we can't find the new originally material at that in time, yeah. But it's lit with Cagar Budaya advisor in Central Java. This is to suggest the team to use the material that recommended. I think this is not recommended, as well as the material itself is not to bias the old of building existing. I think the reveal just only to reveal the original facade, not editing the the facility with other material. I think is only to strengthen the facade. Did you mean, Mbak Wiwi? Maybe you can clarify. Ya, kita tidak menambah apapun karena ini di dalam proses. Saya nggak ikut serta di dalam.
I see. Okay.
Saya nerangin detail gitu.
Sorry, Miss Yuka and Miss Vivi. Actually, I already tried to put the answer. Yeah. So we the existing building made from bricks. So what we did for the facade, we put bricks, the light bricks concrete, and then paint. Yeah. So the atmosphere of the facade that we found when we arrived there still present by this current facade. So light brick concrete. Yeah, it's like a brick, but from light concrete, so it's more strengthened for the facade, and then we paint it with the color looks like a natural stone. So because we got to preserve the color of the crime.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Bulinda. Is the question answered, Joyce?
Almost, but I will after the meeting, maybe Ibu Vivi or Ibu Linda or Ibu Yuk, I can ask a little more details, but not in this presentation. I don't want to take up much of your time.
Sure. I put my email and number with Miss Hasti Tarikat, so Miss Vivi can find my detail from Hasti.
Sure. Okay. Thank you, Ibu Linda and Ibu Yuka. The next question is from Pak Richard Fritz. It's about another operational sugar factory near Solo that is owned or established by the Mangkunegara family also. Are there plans to restore this factory? And I saw another question by Emile's house, also referring to another factory, but that is in Klaten. But can you enlighten us, Ibu Linda, about this other sugar factory near Solo?
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, Miss Yuka as I know that the other one is Tasikmadu, yeah, it's still operated by the SOE because all the asset now is already handed over to SOE, yes, so that belongs by Mangkunegara. About restore the factory, I haven't heard about that. About the Tasikmadu to be restored, but the things that we do now that already being done is the rest area. It's also belong to the same company of the SOE. So back to the Mangkunegara, if I am not mistaken, it is Tasikmadu, but there has no issue yet about restoring that factory.
Okay, okay, right, okay. Okay, thank you, Pak Richard. If you would like to comment on this one, then
yes, please. That factory you mentioned, is that in Solo, in Surakarta?
Yes, around Surakarta.
Okay, because the other one I know is
Yes.
outside Surakarta. There's also a family park, recreational park, and also a small railroad over the factory. But the factory is still operational. They're still producing sugar, but the factory is very old. The machines are still the same as I saw on the presentation. It's similar.
Oh, the gondang, if I'm not mistaken, the gondang. Yeah, yes, the gondang.
Yeah, because I have family working over there, and I've visited several times, but it's still authentic situation, still old, but it is operational. So I was thinking, if you can restore the other one, is the other ones, is there maybe a program to revitalize the old factories what are still operational, especially this one, because I think it is similar, the architecture is similar. So you can do a lot of research in how it has been constructed originally, because maybe, I'm not an architect, but maybe there are similarities and you can find out some new information.
Yes, we went there. Yeah, we went to Gondang and Tasikmadu, yeah, to learn how the machine works. So that's why we put the paint, yeah, to preserve the machine. Looks like the operating one at Gondang. It's Gondang. All the old machine, if I'm not mistaken, it's around 100, maybe 100 years. The age of the machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Original with the Dutch timestamps.
Yes,
also,
yes.
Yeah. From
yes, and with the all the machine name with the Dutch. Yeah, I don't know how to read it.
Yeah, correct. So I translate it every time for them.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
That's good. So, but then another question is a little bit sideways, but you do a lot of effort to restore all those classical and historical buildings, but how is it about preservation and about, for example, fire protection, fire preservation? How does that work?
Okay. So you mean the fire extinguishing as the building system that we put in the building?
Yeah, also, but in general, if you have spent a lot effort in restoring a classical building, look at the Supreme Court in Jakarta, also classical buildings caught fire. So it is very hard to restore it. So, but is there also, do you also think about technology to prevent fire or to avoid more damage? Because there are technologies, there are coatings, that ceramic coatings that can stop fire for hours.
Okay, what we install in that building is the firefighting system. So it's sold the alarm. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, we need money to be generated. Yeah, for the commercial, because we also install complete with the air condition, so we feel comfort when we enter the museum, and also for the fire extinguisher. Because our background is engineer, yeah, we put the complete system of building in that at the sugar factory of Tjolomadoe.
Okay, but you don't use some substances to make, for example, wood non-flammable?
No, so that's yeah, only for the table that I share with you, the machine, and then we put timber, yeah, for the top of the table. That's only the wood. The other one is we just keep the iron door, but the entrance, because we found at the time it was timber, so install with the timber. Just a small element. Yeah, we understand about the fire, so that's why we minimize using the timber.
Yeah. Yeah, true. But also coatings to prevent, because one of the biggest problems in Indonesia is that because of the moist, that the iron inside of the concrete will start rusting and the concrete bursts. I mean, if you go to a perumahan, this built 1 year, 2 years, and you already have cracks in the wall. So there is also a coating that prevents water to enter the concrete and that it's more sustainable. But do you think there's a market or there's interest in Indonesia for such technology? It's quite cheap, actually. It's more cheaper than a sprinkler installation or separating or whatsoever.
Yeah, it's a good suggestion, Richard. I think it's yeah, too specific for this webinar, but it's good to know that there are techniques and methods, and yeah.
Because especially in Indonesia, if there's a fire, the firefighters are far away. They need a lot.
Yeah.
If you have a disaster.
Yeah, you're right, Richard. Yes.
So people die. I mean, that's my interest. I have from the fire security business. So yeah, I see it there, and I also see my family, and I ask them, yeah, what do you do when you're di gorengan, itu minyak terbakar? Now they are panic.
Okay. Yeah.
So then the whole neighborhood lights up on fire.
Yeah.
That's why my question, but thank you. Maybe later, another special.
Yes. Sorry, at the kitchen, because we have also kitchen at the restaurant, we install the angsul. So above the stove, we install the angsul, so it's automatically spray the water once it's fire. Yeah, that's the system we made.
Oil?
Yes.
With minyak?
Yes, at the kitchen. We call it angsul in Bahasa. I don't know how to.
Angsul is the brand.
Yeah, angsul. Yes.
Yeah, but
yes.
If oil burns, minyak burns in a panchi, then you have to shut. Then you have to put a blanket on it, not water. If you do water, it explodes.
Yes, and around the stove and also some point of the building inside, we provide fire extinguisher so they can break the glass. And we train our team how to use it.
Okay.
Yes, because usually by the government and also the regulator, we do a periodic training how to use the fire extinguisher beside the system that already installed.
Yeah, in Holland we have a very good system. The BHV, we have a very good system.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah, it's standardized and compulsory, and I think it's very good to have exercises at your factory, Ibu Linda. So yeah, I think thank you for the question, and for sure this is a very important aspect of protecting heritage buildings. Thank you, Richard. I would like to move to the next question. From Riemer Knoop. How does the revitalization project address the exploitative nature of the sugar industry in Indonesia during colonial times? Who can I ask to Ibu Yuka or Ibu Linda, and maybe Riemer Knoop himself can
explain my question. I would do that very gladly. Thank you very much. What an interesting webinar. My name is Riemer Knoop. I'm a former professor of cultural heritage at the Rijnwaard Academy, Amsterdam, University of the Arts. I'm very much interested in dealing with colonial heritage. The sugar industry, as I understand, has been a part and parcel of the cultuurstelsel, the exploitation system, and echoes in the 150 years of its, the 100 years of its existence very closely the ups and downs of the colonial narrative, the colonial relationship that the Netherlands had with the Dutch Indies. So in revitalizing the buildings, the places of this colonial context, one must perhaps by necessity also address questions of historical justice, historical injustice, suffering, economical exploitation, economical independence. And I was just wondering how in the processes, in many projects that pick up these amazing buildings that were at the top of their line at the time, how do the people involved, the stakeholders, deal with these questions of problematic shared history? If they do at all. And the background of the question is, this year in the Netherlands, 4 major exhibitions will open on this colonial history in the Rijksmuseum, in the Nieuwe Kerk, in het Tropenmuseum, and in the Sophiahof Museum, which was very precisely dedicated to how we had been dealing with the colonial heritage. That's the background. So I'm very interested to hear any reflection on this.
Thank you for the elaboration of your question. Yeah, I think it's very interesting. I know I'm aware of all these upcoming exhibitions and looking forward to visit them. Ibu Linda or Ibu Yuka, is this address in the in Tjolomadoe, for instance, or in other places about the Kultuurstelsel and yeah, the background of the sugar industry during colonial times? I think there's a museum section in the Tjolomadoe. I don't know if you show this.
Okay, I try to understand the questions because yeah, actually my background is not a historian. Yeah, I'm a developer. Yeah, but what we did is to deliver or to exploit the nature of the sugar industry during the colonial times. We learn about the glory of the sugar factory at the colonial period. Yeah, so we keep the shape of the building. Once we extend the facade to get more space, we just copy what already exists, so make to extend the wall. Yeah, and then we learn about the the habit of the people at the time. Once they are doing the milling of the sugar, they held a party, the Dutch with the local. So what we did with Miss Yuka at the time, once we are doing the construction, we held like a party during the construction. Yeah, we asked the local of the Solo to exploit their dance, yeah, the local dance, and we celebrate the jubileum or the anniversary of the sugar factory, even is not operating again. Yeah, but we still celebrate. Yeah, just to maintain the connection or to preserve the relation during the colonial period to present. Besides, we present the architecture. Maybe for the architecture, it would be better Ms. Yuki to explain. But we learn the evidence, yeah, even what we did only to preserve the architecture, but the atmosphere at the time, even we get from YouTube, we get from the literature, we get from the blueprint, we get the positive of the triumph. That's why my the title of my presentation is the triumph of agriculture in preservation of the architecture. And then we take the sugar cane from the triumph of the agriculture. That's also inspired me personally in involving with this project.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Bu Linda. I think it's a good reflection. Ibu Yuka, maybe you would like to add something to respond to this question of Mr. Riemer-Knoop.
Yes, Mr. Riemer-Knoop, I think your question is answered by Ibu Linda, but I need to edit about the sugar factory is built by Bumi Putra. Bumi Putra is Indonesian aristocracy itself at that time, that they have permission from colonial government to build the sugar factory in that time. But they have recommended and supervised by experts from Netherlands, I think. The permission to operate himself of factory, but must be supervised. I think this is one of the aristocracy has a rich aristocracy that had two factory of sugar mill. This is it's especially the noble of Mangkunegara. They have operate more than 100 years, I think. And after decline, the source of plant is not ready because the rent as well as the rent from the landlord is not continue the raw material. And after that they decline, and after that, after Indonesian independence, Mr. Sukarno operate to be a national company in Indonesia.
Mm-hmm.
And then decline that they not have a raw material of sugar factory. I think this caused to empty and not operate again. Maybe to clearly the question. Mbak Wiwi.
Okay, thank you, Ibu Yuka. Mr. Riemer-Knoop, is your question answered by the two speakers?
Yeah, I'm very happy with the length of the Ibus to explain how they're dealing with the historical contexts of the sugar industry.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's much less of an topical issue in Indonesia than it is in the former colonizing country where I am.
Yeah, I think it's good to share each other's views and to learn from each other also. And undoubtedly it's a very long history, and it's there are many sugar factories, and I think Ibu Hasti also mentioned that there are 33, I think, that are older than 100 years in Indonesia. So that's just amazing that there are so many historic buildings related to the sugar industry. Okay, I'd like to move to the next question. It's from Maharani Dita. I don't know if she's still present. If you are still here, Maharani, you can ask ask your question yourself? Or otherwise, meanwhile, I'll read the question. As a cultural heritage building, what's the classification of this building? Since it's being used as, since it is using adaptive reuse approach, is there any part of the building that is being demolished to adapt to new function of the building? Yeah, then Ibu Linda or Ibu Yuka, maybe you can address the question.
Yes, yes, Miss Maharani Dita, maybe I can help to answer this question. The adaptive reuse that used in the revitalization building is based on an emplacement drawing. Emplacement drawing, I think Mbak Wiwi say the origin building drawing. I think the emplacement is the whole of the area of sugar factory that we found is the clear of from a temporary building in the front of gate in the new building, yeah, in the front of Art Deco building style, is have a many temporary building maybe built after the time, and now based on the clear of original building finding, they recommended is to back again as well as the original building at that time, yeah, at that time, as well as the building that existing have a drawing proof. Yeah, they demolish to adapt the new function based on the emplacement drawing original. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, Miss Vivi, Miss Yuka, yeah, just to emphasize what Miss Yuka mentioned, we only demolish the unfunctioned building, but not the origin one, not the sugar factory, but the additional building that made by the SOE, because they are a company, they put like a store, yeah, they make a building store at the front of the building, so we remove it. The other one is still there. Maybe we chip, yes, some, yeah, just to meet the window, to meet the door, yeah, chip some. But we try, what we do is to convert the function only by preserving the original one. That's why I learned from Miss Yuka, yeah, how to preserve that, because I'm not good at, so I learned much from Miss Yuka.
Okay, thank you for the clarification. And is there a certain classification of the building? That was also part of the question. Yeah, if not, yeah. Okay. Then the next question, it's by Yuleta Anila Putri. Yuleta, are you here? And would you like to ask your question yourself?
Oh, yes. Thank you for the time. My question is, I mean, the first thing that it was an interesting presentation that the insight is very useful, and I think it's interesting how the revitalized building of the Tjolomadoe itself is the adaptive reuse concept to transform the initial function, which is the sugar factory, into the creative industry. But my question is, what was the initial thought of giving a specific function to the current rooms based on the names of the rooms when this sugar factory was at its prime? Like, for example, why the Basili station become a Basili cafe? Like, the transformation of the function itself is from the station into cafe, and the Gulinen station into a hall of fame, and etc. Thank you.
Okay. Ibu Linda or Ibu Yuka, please give your thoughts on this question. Thank you, Yoleta, for the question.
Yeah, I think Bu Linda maybe best answer how rename and refunction the room.
Okay, for example, Gilingan, yeah, we keep put the name Stasiun Gilingan because it's milling the sugar, the cane, yeah. And then only Besali become Besali Cafe just to attract people. Cafe means yeah, we provide F&B because yeah, once they touring in the building, yeah, some people maybe need drink, meals, and also because we proceed the business of the venue, the ballroom, yeah, sometimes used for wedding. Yeah, we also provide the F&B supply, catering, yeah, and complete with the hospitality service. That's why our kitchen in the Besali, just to deliver the message that we have the F&B outlet, yeah, we convert the station become a cafe, but we still remain Besali there. So we also provide video to explain what Besali is.
Oh, well, thank you for the explanation. So there is not like a history behind it, why it should be a cafe or why it should be
Okay, sorry. So why it's a cafe? Because it's close to the ballroom. So for the operational, it's more easier to supply the F&B to the big ballroom because we have two ballroom, Tjolomadoe Hall and Surakarta. It is in the middle of the venue, and it connected to the outdoor, so we can proceed the loading dock there. So for internal or operation flow, that's because of the layout of operation why we choose the Besali, and it's unique because we keep the steel of the machine and just add topping for the table, and then naming station to become cafe.
Well, okay. Thank you for the explanation.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Ibu Linda, Ibu Yuka, and Yoleta. Next, I would like to move to Hans van der Akker. Hans, are you still in the audience? And would you like to ask your question directly to the speakers? I think it's a very interesting question. Hi.
Okay.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. Thank you very much for this interesting webinar. I was wondering, since 1861, there must be...
I'm sorry, maybe it would be nice for the speakers to know who you are.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yes, my name is Hans van den Akker, and I work in Museum Brandbeek, which is also a museum working on the colonial history of the Netherlands East Indies. And we hope to open up next year. But my question is, since 1861, there must be thousands of people working in the sugarcane factory in Tjolomadoe. What about their authentic objects and stories? Are they also collected in this project, and are they shown like in a real museum? That was my question.
Ibu Yuka or Ibu Linda, can you address the question?
Yeah, maybe Bu Linda can explain. I need to have what kind of the uniqueness of museum collection. Yeah, I think all of giant machines is a very good artifact of museum itself. It's like the living museum. The museum show the all the artifact in the lobby, in the front, and the all room have many of artifact that show how the history behind, and especially from the convention room, yeah, we can show the all of many giant machine from inside, and this when David Foster show, all can see the outside from inside. It's very nice view, yeah. I think you can see the room itself. Maybe Ibu Linda can edit the imagining for Mr. Han.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Hans. May I share again is it okay to share again or how?
I was also wondering.
Okay. So, okay, sorry. Sorry, Hans. So the evaporation machine still there. So it's a hard job, yeah, to clean the machine. We try to find the good chemical, not destroying or damage the evaporation machine. That's why the evaporation machine still there, the kettle still there, and also some of the brick still as is in front of the hall. So now, yeah, we did our best to keep the authentic object is there. But the things that people should know, when we arrived at that factory, it was closed, and some parts of the factory already not there, so we don't know where. Yeah, maybe missing or not workable or ruined, or I don't know. But what we found upon arrival, we did our best to keep as is, authentic, even it is not complete. For example, some of the we try to shaping the edge of the pipe so it will not hurt us when we touch it, just to keep a part of a pipe. Yeah, even a hole. Yeah, we try to keep the hole, but put some what we see like steel, yeah, to do not let people to go in. But I don't know what it was in the hole. But when we arrived, yeah, we found some snake, and then we try to take the snake out, yeah, and then and then when it's not appear again, I don't know if it's still snake there or not, and then we put the steel with the grill, so we can still see that it was a hole. Even I don't know what hole it is.
Yeah. but can I ask one more thing? Because you keep the artifacts, but do you also collect the stories from the people working in the sugarcane factory and working with these artifacts?
We did interview with the SOE, the state-owned enterprise who handle the operation of the factory, because they are the landlord. So we are in one consortium, in one entity in doing this project. So we did interview. That's the message that we deliver to the public. That you may see it in our YouTube. Yeah, we share it in the chat room. Yeah, so what we got from the operator or the owner, the Indonesian, not the Mangkunegara, we try to interview and invite some people in Indonesia. His name like a heritage institution, yeah, to enhance our understanding about that. And we provide in YouTube, yeah, even in small in short minute of the YouTube, but we keep updating through the YouTube. So we need also critique or message or maybe insight from people how keep we delivering the history of this factory until now.
Okay. Thank you very much and good luck.
Thank you, Hans.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for answering the questions, and thank you, Hans, for the question. I hope to see you again one day in Brownbeek. And the next question is by Madeline Abigail. Madeline, are you there? Would you like to ask the question yourself?
Yes, thank you very for the introduction. Good night, good evening, everyone. So my name is Madeline Abigail, and my question is, what does the Tjolomadoe mean to the history of factorization in the island of Java, or even in Indonesia? Did this impact also play a role on why the revitalization progress of this place is so major, is so big, and it ended up being a cultural heritage spot in Surakarta, and it's very, very popular. And the reason on why I raised this question is because Tjolomadoe, I know that Tjolomadoe was one of the oldest and the first sugar factory in Indonesia. Are other old factories treated the same way? I mean, we have cotton, we have more than that. Are other factories treated the same way? I mean, like, why only the sugar mill? So what did Tjolomadoe mean to Surakarta in general? Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Madeline, for the question. Very interesting. Ibu Linda or Ibu Yuka?
Miss Yuka, the solo lady, the Surakarta lady, Miss Yuka.
Okay, Ibu Yuka.
Yeah, thank you, Madeline. I think Tjolomadoe is one of Indonesian icon. I think this is the first revitalization by government. This is maybe a lead lead project that government in charge in heritage. Yeah, I think this is a huge construction building that show and inspiring to private factory and others how to revitalization itself. Miss Ibu Linda, yeah, Ibu Linda, very famous director after that, and many of factory, sugar factory, yeah, to learn how to start, keep the history, and how keep the revitalization and the role to adapt the reuse itself by use the original drawing. I think it's a very good example in Indonesia. Behind the culture, they use EOT and the millennial function and the creative activity, and all with permission to the old owner. Maybe it's the novel of Mangkunegara is very excited also.
Yes, that's right. So having the Tjolomadoe, it's marked the birth of industrialization in Java. Yeah, in 1871, the profit of Tjolomadoe, even it's up and down, gave birth to the second sugar factory that's named Tasikmadu. I mentioned to Rainer, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, Rainer, about Tasikmadu. That's the symbolism of sea of honey, and also because it's highly productive. Even its initiative by the Mangkunegara at the time, and when he was declined, managing about lack of money, lack of labor, it was helped by the government, the Dutch government at the time, and it raised again, and then decline again. But when the Tjolomadoe rising, that's the highly productive. The product was exported to Singapore, and that's the starting point of Bumiputra related with the foreign countries. so we can say it's the momentum, yeah, momentum, how the sugar coming produced in Surakarta as the first or as the entrance of relation, trading relation of Bumiputra with the foreign countries like Singapore, Thailand, because at the time you can say there are only three, the most top sugar at the time, and Cuba, and the other one, pardon, Taiwan, and the other one is Indonesia, and it was produced in Surakarta because Java, the land of Java is very good. Sumatra good for tea and palm oil and also rubber, but Central Java and East Java, it was good until now for the sugar cane. So that's why in our YouTube, we mentioned that this is the glory of sugar factory, the glory of sugar that we delivered through the architecture.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Belinda. I think the YouTube link is shared in the chat, I think. I hope you see that, Madeline, and otherwise we can include that in the Google Classroom documents. Okay. I hope your question has been answered, Madeline. Thank you, Belinda Buyuko. And there is one more question from Peter Timmer to Yuka about the phenomenological analysis that you mentioned in the presentation. In particular, the spiritually act in asking permission. Is this common in reuse projects?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Peter Timmer. My phenomenological experience is many very wonderful, I think. Maybe the 6 months I have confused about it. Is this academical or is it hallucination and something? I think Ibu Linda maybe knew about it, and I share about my discussion with the novel of the Prince of Mangkunegara IV after I meet my student, my friend, my child friend. This is one of family of the Tjolomadoe, and she asked me to go to the mausoleum, and she company with her niece that has a spiritual can connect it with the prince. After I insert in mausoleum, she became act as a novel, and her voice being a baritone and hard voice, and he asked me about how to accompany the revitalization progress. He mentioned to accompany by funding the original drawing and ask inside Mangkunegara itself. And after that, I'm very confused in 6 months. And suddenly, the team of Bulinda report, it's amazing. We found a whole of the architectural drawing that already damaged in the a corner of the factory building. And so they scanning, and after that show this is a original building that I in library in all the world. I think I see to Archive National of Den Haag, and I can find it. And I see in all of a library, I can find it. And I just found it in Soron of the factory itself.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and after that, this is my confuse is again and again. After he mentioned to draw his wife in the painting of her vase. I think it's a very wonderful experience that I can show, but it's a hidden. I think it's a hidden story about the part of project. The Miss Nhi Pulung Se itself, the wife, his wife.
Ah, see. Okay. Okay.
The painting from the painter of Jakarta.
It's an exceptional story. I think it's yeah, very yeah, makes it very special on to work on this kind of heritage projects. I learned about this myself as a landscape architect when you would like to remove some trees also on the site. You have to ask one by one if the spirits will leave to another tree. So it's yeah, thanks for sharing this special aspect, Yuka.
If I may,
yeah, sure, Peter. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much for your explanation. It's so fascinating for us. We don't have this kind of analysis in the Netherlands, but this spiritual connotation is so Indonesian. And it helps, I think, in understanding the building, but it's also a matter of respect. And if you ask me, we can learn a lot about it in the Netherlands. That's not only about material, but also about sense of place. Well, I think it's very fascinating. Thank you very much.
Okay. Ibu Ahasti asked if you ever see spirits in the Netherlands during restoration projects.
I think we're too down to earth to see spirits. We've lost that, maybe that capability in the past. I don't know. It's not part of our society, you could say.
Yeah, it's like having a sixth sense, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Experience. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Then probably we have to move to the last question. It's by Angelin Basuki. Angie, I hope you're still here, and please address your question yourself. I think it's very interesting. It's about the financial business model and after the restoration. Angie, are you there?
Yeah. Hello, everyone.
Hi, thank you for attending. Good to see you here.
Hello, Lily. How are you?
I'm good. Last time we met was in Amsterdam, and before we met at Kota Tua when my colleagues and me visited Jakarta. So, yeah, please.
It would be nice for Ibu Linda to know who you are.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I'm in hotel now in Palu. So, hello, Bu Linda. Nice to see you. Because I visited the Banjarratma just a couple weeks ago, and I'm so curious, like what you did there. It was amazing. Because I noticed that. Okay, first I'd like to introduce myself. So I'm Angie. I work in Kota Tua, Jakarta as one of the heritage management consortium. It's called Consortium Kota Tua Jakarta, and we manage several buildings in Kota Tua. Actually, I'm curious, not in the revitalization project part, but actually what happened after the revitalization project, like how you maintain the building. And from my experience, I know that maintaining heritage building could be quite expensive, but at the same time, just like what you did in Banjarratma, I noticed that you try to engage with local small enterprises, UMKM. And I'm just curious, like what kind of business model that you applied there, you know, in order to be financially independent for the business to help maintain the building preservation itself and the maintenance. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you, Angie. Okay, financial wise, so we, the consortium, which is PTPP, is a part of member of the consortium. We are the investor, developer, and also operator. And we have rights to operate, to build and operate that building for 30 years. And then after 30 years, we will transfer, give back the building to the owner. That's the landlord. That's the another SOE named PTPN. So how we run the business to let our investment return? Yeah, we operate, of course, with the expenses and generate revenue by leasing, offering the venue to lease by tenant, and also open some restaurant that generate revenue, and rent the venue. Even sometimes we hold an event how to attract the market. So for example, the David Foster in Tjolomadoe, we organize the event by ourselves and then attract people to come, and then being awareness that there was a big or huge venue that can occupy by 3,000 people in the ballroom. Yeah, by conduct the event of David Foster. So why we choose the David Foster? Yeah, it's an international and it's much easier for us to expose the building. So we do the marketing strategy, yeah, to let people know more and also aware until they conduct the attractive and purchasing the service of us, even by leasing the venue. So every week, yeah, we serve the wedding, we serve event at the Banjarratma, we serve the SME, yeah, because they're selling the eggs, yeah, and we keep doing strategy, yeah, to increase our revenue. So by at the end, after 30 years, we can have our investment return with the profit, of course, and then give the building to the owner.
Okay, interesting. So one more question from your experience, what kind of challenges during the maintenance in managing both sides, both technical and financial wise?
Okay, this is a recurring income. So when we fail today, we cannot replace it by tomorrow. That's a recurring, because this is an everyday income. Yeah, so that's why we manage the business model. There is a museum that people with 5,000 rupiah can get it, just to maintain the minimum revenue that we can achieve. And then we allocated the other venue, maybe we can generate more money, for example, for the event, wedding, blah, blah, blah. That's why why Besali Cafe, yeah, beside producing the F&B for the venue, we can still have the cafe. So we have to consider the minimum revenue that we have to achieve, yeah, to pay the fixed cost. Yeah, mixing the business of the commercial, yeah, and we do the calculating very tight, yeah, for the recurring income because we have to pay the electricity, the aircon, and then also pay the maintenance building.
Right, it's yeah, really interesting, all the aspects, and yeah. It's your
Okay,
question.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Angie.
Enjoy your stay.
Nice to see you, Tante Wiwi, Mbak Hasti, everyone.
Yeah, nice to see you too. Enjoy your stay in Palu. Stay healthy. Yeah, I think we have only 5 more minutes left. I think Ibu Hasti would like to make some remarks as well.
Yes, please allow me. Thank you very much. First of all, thank you to all friends and colleagues from all over the world, from Indonesia, from the Netherlands, who joined the discussions. I've learned a lot. So Ibu Linda, Ibu Yuke, please allow me to share what I learned today, some points. That actually what important is from the Tjolomadoe project is that Tjolomadoe is an example of conservation projects in Indonesia with goals as a profit center. It is very important that heritage conservation projects in Indonesia can finance itself, not depend on government subsidies, as many of other projects. So if Tjolomadoe is succeed to be profitable, it is a good example for other projects, especially for large properties of state-owned companies, because the majority of properties, of heritage properties, belong to the state-owned companies. So I think Ibu Linda has a very huge responsibility to show an example that it is manageable to be a profit center, not a cost center. And the second is what I learned is the approach for physical restorations of from the presentations of Ibu Yuke. I've been to Tjolomadoe myself, and I was surprised to see how clean the insides of Tjolomadoe after the opening. And I asked to the manager at the time why it is so clean. It cannot be this clean. Yes, Ibu Hasti, because we learned that the Indonesian people are afraid of spirits, like Peter mentioned. So when the result of conservations shows that it is dark and not clean, they wouldn't come because they are afraid that they will see spirits. And that is very interesting approach. How far you clean up an old building to conserve. So this is a discussions between originality and new functions. But anyway, that is another webinar. I know that there are a lot of senior architects and heritage experts in this forum. That's why I raised the issue. There is nothing wrong, nothing right. It is a matter of approach. And the third is at this moment, Ibu Sri Hartini, the director of Indonesian Plantation Museums, is helping another state-owned companies, PTPN 2, to open sugar museums in Pasuruan, the former Pulp Station, the former research centers of sugar. So in the heyday of the sugar in the 1930s, the research center in Pasuruan is the first class research center in the world about sugar. So and now they are going to open the sugar museum of Indonesia in Pasuruan. So maybe that would be interesting to find out how far they will open the museums. And the third, I also now there are some friends now from Indonesia, especially from East Java, Pak Cahaya Indra Kusuma, for example, and also Puyo Sanchoyo and myself. We have been researching to revitalize sugar heritage trail in East Java. what in the Dutch time is called Oshoek. Oshoek, Pasuruan, Probolinggo, Surabaya. Because this sugar trail, I think it's a potential to connect to the Tjolomadoe, Ibu or Ibu Nina, yeah. And we have been doing some preliminary research, so you don't have to start from scratch. I would be happy to give it directly to you, and you can develop it, and it would be good for the young people to join this Sugar Heritage Trail. And from the whole discussions today with the Dutch friends also, in the Netherlands is quite alive. Contested heritage is a heritage about colonialism, about forced labor, for example. But we notice from your response, and I'll also learn from Indonesia in general, that are quite light about contested heritage. It's not an issue. So I find it very interesting. How come that in Netherlands we are still discussing a lot about contested heritage? We even the institutions here even organize workshops and training how to deal with contested heritage. In Indonesia, is hardly anyone talk about it. So for the policy makers of international cooperations, this is interesting. And the next one is Hans van der Aker also asked about what you do with the people of the sugar industry, the workers. So it's not about the machines, it's not about the archives, but about the people who harvested the sugar cane in the 18th something. So I think they deserve also a place. So it's about the workers, the blue collars, the laborers. Yeah, and also the last one is, as Peter mentions, is what we can learn from in the Europe about you is the spiritual approach. Which, how come? I mean, in the whole world, spirits exist, but how come they don't come to Netherlands and they come to Tjolomadoe? That cannot be. There must be an explanation about it, but we don't have to discuss everything now. But for me, it's still mystery. Thank you. That's my notations. If anyone from the audience will complement or will add more of the points, please go ahead, because all of you are experts, and thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Hasti. Thank you for the good conclusions, and I learned a lot also from the audience, from our speakers, and from you. And I would like to close the webinar by thanking the speakers and the certificates. I hope Julia can share the screen for the certificate for Ibu Linda. So Ibu Linda, thank you so much for being a keynote speaker on the Tjolomadoe adaptive reuse. I hope we can meet again next time. Terima kasih banyak, Ibu. And next to Ibu Yuka, thank you so much also for being our keynote speaker and sharing all the wonderful information of your involvement in the transformation of Tjolomadoe. Terima kasih banyak, Bu Yuka. Thank you for your valuable time. Thank you, audience. There were so many names that I could not mention one by one. So thank you for your attendance. Thank you, Bu Hasti. And thank you, Julia. And last but not least, our next webinar, the fifth one, will be in February on Wednesday, 16 February. At the same time, from 7 till 9 in Jakarta, and from 1 till 3 in the afternoon in the Netherlands. And we will give the information very soon how to register, and we hope to see you at the next webinar. And thank you so much, and hope to see you at the next event. And should you wish to contact us Here's the email address of Ibu Hasti, heritage@adn.lc.nl. Thank you so much. Thank you, Pak Wijaya, also.